The game is changing
That's my
because
whole
now
point.
you don't have the barrier of the technology holding you down.
And the most important thing that I want to say that makes you, like I say, the pioneers, the ones who are cut creators, who are true, like I'm going to scratch something, but I'm going to do it the way you never thought of doing it. That's what I like. Cleverness.
Thank you.
That's what you do. The main thing is everybody now is super fast, but they're doing the same thing. And they're like, then they go to the next sound, but you don't hear a sound you never heard before. You may hear it faster than you ever heard it, but you don't hear nothing clever.
I'm going to tell you the difference is, and this is another curse and a blessing, technology. When I was coming up, I was young. I wasn't able to see what everybody was doing. I would hear it.
Yes.
So now people make videos. What do? You go home and practice what you see.
Yes.
You're not creating.
And that's horrible. That's
so,
horrible.
So, by default, a lot of these younger guys are dope. Dope as hell. But for some of them, their creativity as far as being an innovator can be a little off only because majority of people now, they're going to do what they see. Yeah. They're going to imitate what they see.
That's the now. That's what's hot now.
Yes.
It's a different day. And I got to keep reminding myself it's a different day.
Yeah.
They're not like trying to break it down. They're trying to just see who can go the fastest. And that's not always good.
Well, the main thing is the technology is doing the majority of the work. That's the difference. Some of these people are creative, but the technology is doing the majority of the work because it almost gives you an error-proof foundation to work from.
It does.
You're not wearing out needles. You're not wearing out records. The needles ain't skipping. Where you gotta really be nice, have that right touch. You don't have to have that touch we used to have anymore. You just need to have the right rhythm. But we had to have the rhythm and the touch and the skill set.
And that made it. So Ice, in the battle era in New York, the DJ battle era, what was that like?
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, competition was fierce because record companies were signing MCs and groups that really had skills. You know what I mean? But that was, the hip hop always was very competitive from all its elements. Rap battles, breakdance battles, graffiti battles, DJ battles. So it always was that competition because what a lot of people may not realize, this competition stemmed from saving people from gangs. So while the gangs were fighting and beefing with each other and killing each other, instead of fighting and killing each other, hip-hop gave us a way to battle our skill set instead of wasting our lives in the streets. So it became the new culture and the new thing that everybody gravitated to, which saved us. It gave us something that was ours. We owned it. We created it. And, so inside of that is a competition similar to sport. And everybody wants to be the best in their neighborhood. But now where before you had neighborhoods fighting each other, now you had neighborhoods battling each other. Different parts of town. So that battle era, like you said, for the DJ, and it was fierce back then. Myself, I was a lot of times asked to judge a lot of competitions that I would be at. So there would be phenomenal DJs at these competitions, New Music Seminar, the DMC competitions. So that was a big thing going on. Then that started to become very national and international, of course. So, because the DJ culture is all over the world. But a lot of people made names and stemmed from these competitions. When you start thinking of DJs like Jazzy Jeff, Cash Money, DJ Scratch, just to name a few, then you add DJ Premier and Qbert and, a lot of these names come from the battle era and was able to, sustain careers from this.
Yes, sir.
But, hip hop in general has always been very competitive in all of the elements of it. And the DJ game is no different. Even to this day, they still have DJ battles and, you log online and you see different things going on. But, a lot of people that take this seriously, hold their own, and they create their own lanes. And, a lot of DJs, back in our time frame, This was whether you was rapping, DJing, whatever you do. We didn't. Nobody wanted to sound alike.
Right.
My group UTFO, we wanted to sound like us. Run DMC sound like them. Houdini sounded like themselves. Fat Boy sounded like themselves. LL sounded like himself. Rakim sounded like himself. Curtis Blow sounded like himself. Grandmaster Flash and them sounded like them. Everybody sounded different. No, because back then you didn't want to sound like nobody.
It was biting. It was called biting.
You didn't want to bite nobody. Everybody had to create their own style, their own niche in the game.
And you know what's crazy? Even if you jumped over to the West Coast, the same thing.
Same thing.
NWA sound like NWA.
Yes.
Too Short sound like Too Short or whatever. Everybody had an identity.
That was one of the major differences because for hip hop in that time frame, you don't have all the technology, and everybody's in their lab. Everybody's trying to come up, and everybody. A lot of times, record companies would sign you because you were different.
Yeah.
You added something that was different, and different was important back then.
It was.
And different with skill set. That was very important back then. You know what I'm saying?
It was. And the reason I asked you about the battles, it's funny you said that you go around and judge those. You closed a very important chapter in my DJ career. I had a long time beef with rest in peace DJ Wiz.
Okay.
Long time beef. And we settled it. I think it was 91, 92 at the Valleydale. You was one of the judges.
Here in Columbus. Okay.
Here in Columbus. And you were one of the judges.
I actually remember that battle.
We went head to head, me and DJ Wiz, for years. I didn't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this battle should have happened a long time ago. He was like, word? And we battled and settled it.
Was it a one-on-one battle
No.
or was it a whole competition?
It was a whole competition.
And y'all would end up being the finalists?
No. Actually, we weren't the finalists.
Gotcha. But y'all were in the battle together.
Right,
Okay.
right. But that, I thought the main battle was going to be me and Wiz and Doc.
Did y'all two ever go head up in
Yes,
the competition?
We did, because you were there.
Okay.
You took you said, I'm going to put everybody's name in this
I
thing.
was just drawing names out? Okay.
And the first name that comes out, Kid Majic.
Okay.
And then it was like, you should get up, Wiz. And
wow.
I'm like,
so y'all were the first ones to go at it?
The first two to go at it.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, but see, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought those were the only people I got to deal with is Wiz and Doc. But this DJ came from nowhere, DJ Apache, and beat everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he came from nowhere and beat everybody.
I remember that.
DJ Apache killed us, sent us all home packing.
Mm-hmm.
And we like the stars of Columbus.
Yep.
But the thing is, I was so happy that I beat Wiz.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even care no more.
Right.
But I want you to know I appreciate you being honest
Mm-hmm.
and judging it right. And just being there. That's
Appreciate
just
that.
We didn't even know each other.
Appreciate that.
And that's just you, how you work.
Appreciate that.
You're just making your rounds.
A lot of that was, I remember that in Columbus, but I've been fortunate to be a part of judging battles all over the world, man.
Because you got that ear and you know what a DJ is supposed to.
So
you know what's going on.
I know what's going on.
You know what's going on with them turntables.
I know what's going on.
So I'm gonna leave you on that.
I appreciate it.
One last question. Everybody wants to know, what made you settle down in Columbus?
Columbus was one of the cities I used to frequent a lot.
Okay.
So during our touring days in the 80s, for some reason, I always was one of them guys that promoters always got to kick it and hang out with. I always vibe with promoters and they vibe with me. So a lot of times, whenever I would have any free time, different promoters from different cities would love to bring me to their city to DJ and tear it down at their club or their mansion party or DJ competition or whatever.
This
right?
ain't no regular DJ, y'all. This ain't no regular DJ in Columbus, Ohio. So y'all better pay attention.
So Columbus was one of the cities before I moved out here. I used to always be out here. Mm-hmm. You know, different promoters.
I used to hear about you.
Different promoters would bring me here
at the Scales Building.
Yeah, to do to DJ events, and then they would bring shows here. I would be DJing at the show. Mm-hmm. And one of my good buddies from here, he was a DJ too, named DJ Chili. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the up-and-coming guys that were DJing and also promoting. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we became really good friends and good buddies, and we started working together and bringing shows here.
Okay.
So that's kind of what put me in position. His family sells real estate. Mm-hmm. So being involved with that whole situation, I was able to buy my first house out here and stuff like that. So, you know, when things slowed down with the group, I still had about 13, 14 different cities that at any time I could pick the phone up if they ain't already calling me and bring me to that city to DJ. Mm-hmm. Denver, Dallas,
Mm.
couple of different places in Indiana. Oh my God. Of course, Columbus. A lot of places around this area. You know, uh, um, Lima.
I'm glad you said that.
Um,
Glad you said that.
Zanesville. Just
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different. Dayton. Just a lot of different places. People would bring me to DJ back then, and then I would do a lot of homecomings. I would do a lot of college homecomings back then, and a lot of HBCUs would bring me in, and I would DJ a bunch of stuff. So, make a long story short, like to answer your question, I had a lot of different cities that I would be DJing at a lot of times, and Columbus was a place that I frequented and ended up settling down and getting some property out here.
I'm glad you said that because I remember. I'm pretty sure you remember too that we did a show together. Me, you, we did a couple shows together in Lima with
Yes.
Flavor Flav,
Okay, there we go.
and we just with the mayor, Chris
Yep.
Thomas, the mayor.
Yep.
And it brings me to another question.
Mhm.
So I was opening up for you DJing when we went to Lima, and I was DJing, and you came over to me, and I'm gonna get to why I'm saying this. And I was DJing, and I was rocking or whatever, doing my thing, and you was like Magic. You was like Magic. I know you East Coast, but you gotta play some of that. You gotta play some of that. See, that's my problem as a DJ. I was biased. How do you feel about how when things change, like trap music, I can't adjust to that? And I'm not dissing no youngsters or not like that. I can only play what I know.
Right.
And you had to pull my curtain. You had to pull my.
Well, you know what it is? There's nothing wrong with staying in the lane that you're comfortable with, if that event represents your lane and your lane represents the event. Because you want people to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and as DJs, one of our jobs is to make sure people have a great time.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's two parts to that. It also kind of goes to who you hiring for an event. Like for an example, if you having a reggae bash, you need to make sure you hire a thorough reggae DJ.
Yeah.
You know, you may not want to hire a EDM DJ for a reggae event.
Yeah, I get it.
Just because the DJ is good.
How do you do that though? Like, and I know that's how you eat and stuff. And so like me and Wiz, rest in peace, we had conversations because we both were mixtape kings in Columbus, and we had conversations. He was like, I wasn't a big fan of gangster rap, and I was East Coast till I died. And he was like, I was like, man, how do you? I lose sales because people like, you ain't got no gangster on there. And I was like, nah. I was like, how do you do it? And he's like, you gotta mix it in. But I can't mix something in that I don't feel.
Gotcha.
I can't do that.
Well, you got to stay true to yourself. I see where you're coming from.
So then I just had to back out of the bar scene and the club scene because it's not me. But how do you do that?
You know what it is?
That's
I'm gonna tell you what it is. This is deep. I'm still a student to the game. It keeps me relevant. So, of course, I'm old school to the core, boom bap to the core, East Coast to the core. But because I love to entertain, I make it my business to understand bounce music from New Orleans. I make it my business to understand what's hot reggae wise. Now you have Afro beats, so I study that. You know, as I'm DJing, I want to make sure I have all the hot Afro beats. Of course, you know, you got all the trap music and the down south stuff, you know, but I guess for me, it keeps me young.
Yes.
It keeps me young, and then on top of that, I'm still a student. I still love the culture, so I still study the culture. Now, you know, there's some things that I'm happy with. There's some things that I'm not happy with. Personally, I wish there's a little bit more balance in the game, a little bit more balance for our youth to be able to endure. You know, it's kind of really lopsided where we promote a lot of ignorance. We're promoting a lot of nonsense. I wish it was a little bit more balance for the youth so that they can weigh the scale.
Yeah.
You know, we were able to have balance.
We had balance.
You know, we had our PEs, we had our X-Clans, we had our poor righteous teachers,
and we had our NWAs too, talking that.
So you know, we had the balance.
We had the balance.
So I just wish it was a little bit more balance for our youth, because the you know, technology targets the youth. You know, the youth is easily to be manipulated. They're easily to follow trends, and technology is all about trends. So you know, it is what it is. You know, I take the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
I respect it. I respect it, bro.
I just stay relevant. to what's going on.
I respect
Because
it.
when I'm talking in front of the youth, I gotta be able to be that sheep in wolf clothing. I gotta know that lingo. I gotta know that vibe. I gotta know that frequency. Because if I come in there, they're not gonna be able to relate to me, no matter what I'm saying positive. But if I can tap into their frequency and then get in their heads, I can benefit. It's a win-win for both of us.
I respect that, bro.
You feel me?
I respect it.
And at the end of the day, the future is always going to be about the youth.
It really is. It really is, because if they ain't set up right, it's going down. This ship's going down. It's all gonna crash, and you're right about that. And I just want to thank you for coming on Who's Hot.
Who's Hot TV?
Bridging the Gap. Mixmaster
Gap.
Ice, the legendary Mixmaster Ice, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for I would say 30 years, close to 30 years, maybe more.
Facts.
And I thank everyone for their time. Where can they find you?
Hey, I'm out there. Website is in development, which is mixmasterice.com. On Instagram, at Mixmaster Ice. Twitter, at Mixmaster Ice. Really not that much on Facebook as much as I used to be. But you could definitely hit me up at Mixmaster Ice and mixmasterice.com.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you
Love
as
you,
well.
bro.
Love you
right.
more.
All right. Can you get a picture real quick, man? And I gotta go, man. Man, I should have been in bed by now.